pointed out, I think you guys are competing with T-Hub on the coolness quotient. I don't know how many of you have been to T-Hub. If you have been, then I would certainly believe that this is one of the nicest, coolest office spaces to work in Hyderabad right now. So many compliments on the swanky new office. Mr. Anshuman Magazine, Ram Chandani, Romil, Gurjot, Amar, and to the entire team of CBRE. My compliments again on making sure, as Anshuman was pointing out, Hyderabad today, in fact, is a fast-growing city. In fact, a lot of times when I meet people, important people in Delhi, the ministers, the bureaucrats, the ambassadors, the high commissioners, I keep telling them that there is life outside of metro also. I know there is a movie called Life in a Metro, right? What is it called? Yeah, there's plenty of life outside of metros, and I'm sure all the gentlemen sitting on the podium, especially Mr. Magazine, is from Delhi. Ram is from Bangalore. Bangalore, I don't really, have any issues with. Gurjot is from Delhi, Gurgaon again. So all of you guys, there is life outside of metro. That is the message I'm trying to give you. Because if you look at the numbers, the sheer numbers will tell you that Hyderabad, in fact, has been doing significantly well in the last 3.5 years. In fact, we were just talking about certain metrics which kind of are, in fact, testimony to the growth story here. The first thing I'd like to point out too is in 2015, there was 3 million square foot of office space being absorbed in Hyderabad. This year, I'm happy to share with you because we're almost at the end of the year. I think it'll be around 7.5 million square foot. So there is there's more than 2.5 percentage, 2.5 times increased story, 250% absorption in office space, which I think augurs very well for us. But I see this only as a starting point. In fact, we are, as a government, in discussions with a number of people in terms of trying to bring in more investments into the state. So what I'm trying to say, Anshuman, is that since we are doing your job, you also owe us a paycheck. याद रखो, क्योंकि हम आपका भी काम कर रहे हैं और हमारे तरफ से भी आपका business बढ़ रहा है. So you have to do a lot of corporate social responsibility in Hyderabad is what I'm pointing out to. The other thing we are also doing is, obviously, we don't want to end up like many other cities in India which have shown quite a promise and then have been grappling with infrastructure issues. We don't want to go that route. So if you go around Hyderabad today, you would see that more than 54 junctions, we have works going on. All of this would materialize. Please bear with me for those of you who live in Hyderabad. I know it has been a pain of late with some of these works going on and with traffic also becoming an issue. But trust me, it is going to change. Hyderabad Metro has been inaugurated. In fact, 30 kilometers is the longest stretch for any metro in India so far. Bangalore, Cochin, and other cities, we were the 11th city, and we inaugurated the longest stretch, and it is doing really well. In fact, in the last 14 days, in fact, 13, 14 days, ever since we unveiled, Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated Metro, we've had more than 1.5 million passengers travel in Metro. And this in comparison to other cities, where they only had like 20,000 people, 40,000 people every day. In Hyderabad, we are clocking impressive numbers. More than 1.2 lakh people travel in Hyderabad Metro today, every day. And I'm not talking joy rides and joy riders. It is stabilizing. And there are some obviously initial teething pains, which we will overcome. And before the end of next year, Hyderabad Metro will be completed in full shape, which will open newer opportunities for CB Richard Ellis and also for the state of Telangana. Because what is going to happen then is Uppal, Nagol, Miapur, all of these locations which currently seem a little far-flung will also open up, and there will be, I'm sure, many of your clients who are wanting to look at more economical options. I'm pretty sure not everybody can afford a swanky office like CBRE in this location, right? So I'm sure there will be clients who would want to look at, Uppal and, closer to airport, etc., newer pockets of growth. So that's what Amar was alluding to when he said, look east. NSL is one developer which has bet big on the Uppal side. So we are looking forward to also improving more infrastructure there with metro, up and running there in that part of the town. I do believe that this will create newer opportunities for developers wanting to go there. And then with not just Hyderabad Metro, but as I pointed out, more than 54 junctions where we are in fact right now working on what is called as strategic road development plan. Many of these also would fall in place by end of next year. Many of these projects would also fructify by end of next year. But this is not going to be enough. I am completely aware of it. So we are also planning multiple things. In fact, we are planning a monorail as a last mile in this part of the town. We are also looking at phase 2 of metro. In fact, I'm traveling to Japan to see how we can actually raise some money and some funds and ground this ASAP. So infrastructure is a story that has to unfold, has to be incessant in terms of how much coverage we can extend, etc. And we also have to start promoting public transportation and multimodal transport in a big way. So it's a combination of different things which goes into making a city with good quality of living. But I'm happy to share with you relatively, for those gentlemen who are not from Hyderabad, who live outside of Hyderabad, let me again rub it in. For the last 3 years in a row, Mercer has continued to rate us as a city with the best quality of living compared to the smog in Delhi, Gurjot, compared to the traffic in, and Anshuman by the way, compared to the traffic in Bangalore, compared to the humidity and floods in Chennai. I think we fare really well. We are shielded from all natural forces. Compared to all the other cities, we are shielded from all natural forces. We have no extreme weather conditions. In fact, except for 2 months, Hyderabad, you can wear all your swanky suits and you can look pretty cool. For 10 months in a year, which is quite remarkable. We have no typhoons, no cyclones. Seismologically, this is one of the most stable locations in the world, not just in our country. Deccan Plateau is one of the most stable locations in India as well. So it makes a great DR center, disaster recovery center. And when Bangalore, Chennai were in floods and rains, we were actually covering for them. In fact, we had people working from Hyderabad, working 2 shifts and 3 shifts to cover, because we have global SLAs today for every corporate. So therefore, Hyderabad today has become a great destination, not just for international investors, but also for innovation and startups within India as well. We have India's largest technology incubator center called as T-Hub, which is going to be, in fact, building phase 2, which is very next door to your office. In fact, the second phase of T-Hub is coming up. Next year, by this time, it will be unveiled and it will be the world's largest technology incubator. And then we also have an image tower coming up. The same gentleman who built this building is working on it, Salar Puria Satwa. And they're also working on image tower, which is going to be a 1.6 million square foot facility, which is going to be exclusive to a lot of innovators and new age companies in animation, gaming, multimedia, entertainment, VFX, VR, AR, etc., AI, etc. And then we also have T-Works, which is going to be India's largest prototyping lab, so that we can promote more and more hardware and more and more maker space kind of new age companies as well. So while there has been significant traction in terms of what we've achieved in the last 3.5 years, I sincerely do believe that this is just the beginning, because we also have the world's largest pharma cluster coming up in our own city of Hyderabad, called as Hyderabad Pharma City. This will be coming up in more than 19,000 acres. It will be world's largest pharma cluster. So a bunch of different things, in fact, that are going on in Hyderabad, in Telangana, will continue to make it. In fact, on government facilitating business, currently we are ranked #1 in India on the ease of doing business index also. In fact, World Bank and DIPP give this ranking jointly. We're ranked #1 on that. Our new age industrial policy, called as the TS iPass, is doing really well. We've given more than 5,000 clearances, and we continue to grow our potential. And I do believe with partners like CBRE, in fact, we are only going to do even better in days to come. So I request CBRE to work more closely with us. Now that you have a swanky office, invite us more often, so that we can work more closely and we can actually jointly strategize in terms of attracting many of the corporates which are looking towards India with a great deal of optimism. Let's ensure that we work together to convert the intent into investment for India, and more importantly for the state of Telangana. Thank you very much for this opportunity.